it has all sorts of implications and ramifications for the credibility of the police service itself, for the trust and confidence that officers and police staff are placing in their leaders. And of course, within the community, and particularly police families, there is absolute concern, dismay, and a fair degree of anger. It looks particularly unprofessional or incompetent to some eyes, and obviously we'll hear more soon, but yes, it is a mess.
Should the Chief Constable go?
Well, I don't want to comment on Simon Byrne or any other individuals. Clearly, there needs to be an investigation. He hasn't had the chance yet to account for what actions and what protocols he has been responsible for, and where the fault lies in terms of either the cyber prevention tools that should be there or the hands-on management and supervision that should have taken place. But clearly he will be mortified as his senior team are, I'm sure, in relation to what has happened.
I mean, the fact that we've had 2 data breaches revealed in, over the course of one 24-hour period, does that suggest a pattern of negligence?
I don't necessarily link the two. I mean, one is at a headquarter level, at a command level. The other seems to be personal, individual act of recklessness, perhaps leaving documents in a car and leaving a police radio and computer in a car. That to me is something that sadly there is precedent for that in the past, despite all the rules and regulations. The more important one from most people's perspective is this lack of dealing with what seemed to be an innocuous question. Someone, through a freedom of information request, wanted to know the establishment of the service and, in a sense, the organogram, how many officers were deployed and how many support staff were deployed in certain departmental or organisational responsibilities. How that was translated into, let us give them every detail in terms of the name, rank, location, job description or job title, of individuals. It beggars belief how there wasn't a corporate responsibility for FOIs to look at the security implications, the issues around how much we can release, what is the impact to the officers, what is the impact to the organisation. I mean, as I say, it just beggars belief.
I mean, it's about responsibility, isn't it? And the responsibility that the police service of Northern Ireland have to their staff. They failed in that responsibility, haven't they?
Well, undoubtedly, there have been failures. And I say this not trying to be smart or compound the problem. By the time you reach chief officer rank, the rank and file have the rightful expectation to think, with all the years of experience, with all the command training, with all the career development opportunities you've had, in some cases working in more than one police department or one police constabulary, that you will know the basics in relation to looking after your staff's welfare, being confident in relation to putting in protocols and security measures. And of all places in Northern Ireland, where the risk is at its severe level, and with obviously those intent on murdering police officers still active, to allow this to happen, of course, there's been failings. It's terrible.
What is your advice for those officers, the ones who've gone to great lengths, like we've heard from, to conceal their identity, who've had to leave their homes? What do you say to them?
Well, first of all, I have empathy with them, having suffered myself from the need to move a young family due to an assassination threat. Thankfully, that was caught and nipped in the bud. One understands completely what it's like. It takes courage to be a police officer. It's a big decision. It's a life-changing decision for you and your family when you join the police in Northern Ireland. And therefore, most people approach it with a mature, thoughtful attitude and expect, of course, the organisation and the leaders to support you in that. So I would suspect that most of the police officers and support staff, the police staff, will take not a knee-jerk reaction, but we'll hope that both they themselves will review their own security, but that the leaders, the bosses, will do a proper impact and threat assessment. They will give advice, they will give guidance, and of course, not to panic, But clearly, this has caused major concerns, and one hopes that this is the only two incidents that are going to come to light. But sadly, it has caused deep concerns within the rank and file.